morning, everyone, or whatever time of day it is when you see this. We're on vlog 2, and I'm going to be talking about how I plan to graduate college 100% debt-free, no loans, no money owed anywhere, and also why it was the motivation for me to choose to do the van life. So in this vlog, let's talk about money. So as we all know, college is super expensive. A reason why I did van life was for the sake of saving money, and by doing this I cut, I want to say, somewhere between like $3,000 and $6,000 per year in like renting and utility costs. So that's $6,000 back into my pocket that I can use towards my education, or I can use to go on that trip I always wanted to go on to, or to pay for field school next summer, or whatever it is that I want to do. That money is mine. It doesn't go to a landlord, it doesn't go to utilities, it doesn't go anything like that. It allows me to have a little bit more freedom, and it gives me a sense that I actually own something more than just what I owe my debt to the school or to the government. So with that being said, I think that living in a van is a great way to go to college, because you get to save the money that would go elsewhere, and it actually gets to go to you. It doesn't get to go to anybody else, and that's really important. So last night I started looking up these numbers right here to prove just how expensive college is, and I'm going to try not to bore you with all these numbers, but I think this needs to be heard by everybody, just to see how expensive college actually is for those who don't actually know. For a private school, private university, for 1 year is $34,740 per year. For an out-of-state tuition, it is $25,620 per year. And for in-state tuition, you're right around $10,000 per year. Guys, that's a lot of money. And so I looked up again the average cost for an apartment. So if you're doing an apartment by yourself, you're gonna pay somewhere between $500 and $600 per month at the lowest end. That's a really crappy apartment. And if you have a roommate, depending on how many you have, you're probably gonna be spending around like $250, $350 a month, which equals out to, if you're doing it by yourself, just about $6,500 a year. And if you're rooming, somewhere between $3,000 and $4,000 a year that you're spending in rent. That's not including utilities, that's not including anything else. So by cutting the cost of rent and cutting the cost of utilities and using what your school and your community actually has to offer you, you're saving thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars a year. And that ties into how you can actually use that money that you were going to spend on your rent to pay for your tuition. And also think of it this way: if you're going to school full-time like I am, I'm taking 17 credit hours. I am loaded with classwork. How many hours a day does that give me in an apartment? So to shower and to sleep, so what, 8 hours maybe? And if I'm doing this by myself, I'm paying $500 minimum a month to sleep. Guys, I sleep for free in this thing, for free. That saves me $500 a month, that saves me $6,000 a year. And for those of us who are going to school full time and still want to work, let's be honest, with the amount of homework I have to do personally, I spend somewhere between, I don't know, I want to say 8 to 10 hours a day in the library doing classwork. Now that's not every day. I normally take like 1 or 2 days off a week from doing that, but that doesn't give me very much time to work. So as college students working minimum wage jobs, if that's all we can get, so you're maybe making like $8, $9 an hour, maybe 20 to 25 hours a week. That adds up to probably somewhere between $10,000 and $12,000 a year that you're gonna make going to school. And if your tuition is $10,000, that leaves you absolutely nothing left over. It gives you no money to pay for your rent. In fact, you're actually making less money than you're paying to your school. That leaves you with no other option than to take out loans to just pay for your rent and pay for your other things. To do the van life is to live minimalistically, if that's a word. But also to be money conscious, to know where your money's going to and to be in control of your finances, and knowing that when you graduate, you're not gonna owe a cent to the bank or to your school. I got lucky enough to have a good brain up in here and got my out-of-state tuition waived. So I'm actually paying in-state tuition, but guess what, guys? It's still more than I can afford. It's crazy expensive. So over the summer, I worked somewhere between 40 and 50 hours, 40 and 60 hours a week maybe at a ranch in Colorado, and I just saved all that money that I could, and that got me through my first 3 payments here at this new school. But I still have 2 payments left this semester, and I'm out of money, so I definitely have to work my butt off now to make my tuition payments. But also, if you're thinking about doing like seasonal work and you're thinking about living in a van, the more you bust your butt off during your seasonal working jobs, the longer you can go without having to work when you actually get to school. You can focus more on your studies without having to worry about your tuition payments, especially if you're living in a van. You don't have to worry about your rent payments. So when I started this whole van life project, I understood pretty quick that I was not going to be able to pay for tuition plus an apartment plus whatever else. You have to come to the realization that when you're on your own, and you have to cut costs. It's a lot easier to cut costs than it is to double your budget. Keep that in mind too, and doing this is a great way to do that. Okay, so I think you guys kind of get what I'm trying to say. Live in a van, save money, have more money for school, graduate debt-free, travel when you graduate. Do what you want when you graduate, because you're gonna have money left over that you're not gonna be paying for rent. So I guess with that, I'm probably gonna leave it here. And once again, please leave me your comments and your questions down below. Also, if you want to email me something that you don't really want to put in a public comment, you can always email me. My email is in the description for this video. I just want to thank everybody for the positive comments on the first video. Like I said, this is kind of out of my comfort zone, but I see this definitely becoming a movement, and I definitely want to get my voice out there and want to show the world that there are other options to go into school and for alternative living. And I'm very excited to see where this channel takes me and see what you guys have to offer for me, and I will hopefully see y'all again in the next vlog.